Donald Trump make all sorts of statements. And you know that he is brilliant in his manipulation of social media. Sometimes it gains him favor, sometimes it gains him just a lot of media attention, but he does that. He's been doing that since his first term, and we all know that.
If the US truly wants to resolve issues through dialogue and negotiation, it should stop making threats and resorting to coercion, and engage with China on the basis of equality, mutual respect and mutual benefit. Saying they want to reach an agreement with China while continuing to apply maximum pressure is not the right way to deal with China, and it will not work.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
And welcome you watching the Friday edition of This Is Exclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the world's costliest fighter aircraft of the UK Navy. It has been grounded in India for the last 5 days. Tonight, we put the spotlight on a very unusual story. How is it possible that a fighter jet, which is considered to be one of the most expensive, one of the most deadliest fighter jets to be present, and that very aircraft, which was part of a military drill, has now been grounded for the last 5 days in Thiruvananthapuram. Tonight, we get you the first set of images, and not just that, details of what has really happened. All this and much more on this edition of This Is Exclusive. But up first, let me take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. British F-35 fighter jet still grounded in Kerala. Was it a technical snag or something else? Air India is in a complete mess. After multiple domestic and international flight cancellation, it's a high time that Air India must answer. 30 Iranian ballistic missiles were launched at Israel as part of the latest barrage of missiles that have been launched. Initial reports of at least 4 impact sites in Haifa, central and southern Israel, including injuries. The top story tonight on This Is Exclusive is about a rather unusual and an extremely intriguing development in the international aviation sector. Ladies and gentlemen, a British Royal Navy F-35B fighter jet, one of the most advanced in the world, has been stranded in Kerala for the last 5 days. The F-35B, part of UK's HMS Prince of Wales carrier strike group, made an emergency landing at Thiruvananthapuram International Airport in Kerala due to a technical snag. The aircraft's hydraulic system failure or low fuel levels prompted the pilot to make a precautionary landing. The incident raises questions about the reliability of the advanced military hardware and the challenges of maintaining these sophisticated machines in remote locations. The F-35B, in fact, is a marvel of modern technology, but its grounding highlights the importance of robust maintenance and repair protocols. Now, what we are essentially going to do, we're going to take you through the details and the implications of this unexpected event. For the first time ever, F-35B's first images have now been accessed by Republic TV. In fact, what we are also going to do, take you through each of the details and also stay with these images, because these images that we have accessed, these are the latest images of the F-35 aircraft. What is it? It is what has happened so far. It's made an emergency landing at Thiruvananthapuram International Airport. Emergency landing was due to a suspected hydraulic system failure. F-35B was participating in joint exercises. In fact, we are given to understand that it had thereafter certain complications. On your screens right now, these are the first set of images that we have accessed. Republic TV's exclusive image of the F-35 that has been grounded, and maintenance is still going on. In fact, there was also an incident that actually took place just about a few days ago, when the fighter pilot basically refused to enter the premises of the airport and basically demanded a chair to be put just next to this very aircraft. Now, reason really not known as to why exactly would the aircraft pilot refuse to even enter the Thiruvananthapuram airport. On your screens right now, these images will stay full frame of the first images that have been accessed. Can we just put out the details of the first images of the F-35 jet? This is a UK Royal Navy jet that has been grounded in Thiruvananthapuram. In fact, my colleague Ashwin has got us the first report.
The British Royal Navy's F-35B fighter jet has been grounded in the Thiruvananthapuram International Airport for the last 6 days. Right now, where we are standing, you can clearly see the visual of this particular fighter jet that has been parked in the civil airport of Thiruvananthapuram. This $100 billion flight was in fact flying over the Arabian Sea. It had taken off from the aircraft carrier HMS Prince of Wales. And supposedly there was a military exercise in the Arabian Sea, but due to some technical glitches and not able to land in the aircraft carrier, it made an emergency landing in Thiruvananthapuram Airport. However, what is interesting is that this flight, which was supposed to take off on Sunday itself, still continues to be in the airport even after 6 days. The Indian Air Force had released an official statement stating that this is a routine issue and it will be sorted, and also they had stated that all assistance is being given for the safe passage of this flight. But 6 days has passed, this flight continues to be in the Thiruvananthapuram airport. And what is also interesting is the fact that the military helicopter and the technical team from the British ship arrived to fix the problem and take the plane back. But repairs are still ongoing. What you can see in this visual is that there is in fact a military truck also parked very next to it, giving it 24 hours security services as well. This flight has been here for 6 days. It has led to many conspiracy theories. Many are saying that what is the reason, many are suspicious about it. And this is the 5th generation fighter jet and one of the most advanced fighter jet which the British Royal Navy has. So certainly this visual speaks for itself. For the last 6 days, this particular flight, this fighter jet has been lying here. It has been grounded. And what needs to be seen is whether the Ministry of Defence will give an official statement on this, because what we get to gather from our sources is that the Ministry of Defence will need to give a final nod for this aircraft to be taken back to the aircraft carrier, which is the Prince of Wales aircraft carrier.
Getting in some more breaking news with regards to this very British Royal Navy's F-35B fighter jet. In fact, the Indian Air Force has facilitated the aircraft's safety, but repair efforts have been slow, and the British team has refused further offers of any assistance, including a hangar for repairs. Now, with the jet's classified technology a concern, security measures are in place, and a small team is stationed at the airport's emergency medical center to monitor the aircraft. The jet's prolonged grounding has raised some questions, and its return to flight remains uncertain. So the breaking news is this, ladies and gentlemen, that UK has denied any offer of assistance. They do not want any assistance because, in fact, UK has refused hangar facilities that are being provided by India. That's the breaking news. UK has refused. They have refused hangar facilities that have been provided by India. Now, there is a reason behind it because they believe that the technology of this aircraft should not be shared with anyone. And these are protocols that most of the professional air forces would have essentially followed. But let me just quickly bring in my colleague Ashwin, who's basically joining us from the Thiruvananthapuram Airport at this point in time. For the last 5 days, ladies and gentlemen, this aircraft, one of the world's most expensive, advanced aircraft, has been grounded for 5 days. In fact, Ashwin, it turns out that they have now refused hangar facilities. Any more details are you getting in as to what is the reason that they have basically cited why they have refused any sort of assistance, and this aircraft remains stranded there at the same very place, not even inside a hangar?
Yes, Shravan, in fact, the latest what we are getting is that there are 4 people who are there as kept as backup. In fact, one of the backup pilot, his name is said to be Freddy, and he has also refused that he did not want to take sight away from this aircraft, and any kind of facility like keeping it in a hangar, it will not be allowed. So this is the statement that we get to hear from our sources. In fact, the defense sources have also said that they've offered the Air India hangar over there, and then repairs can be done. But certainly one person who's very privy to these facts, they said there are satellites which are being used to constantly monitor this aircraft. So keeping it in a hangar will disable that facility, and that is what is the reason why the UK is trying to refuse. Is what we are getting to hear from people who are very close to the entire issue. Shravan, another important thing is that the British High Commission officials have been going on and off in this airport where we are standing right outside. There has been a strict barricade that has been kept, unusually strict barricade that has been kept for the media. In fact, earlier in this airport, we have been reporting for this airport for the last 5 years now. We have not even been allowed to go inside to 100 meters inside to get a vantage point of that. Even that has been denied. So certainly the officials have tight-lipped. I did try to speak to the operations manager of this Thiruvananthapuram International Airport, which is now helmed by Adani Group. So they also refuse to give any further comments on it. But certainly 6 days this aircraft has been there. They are not even able to repair it, and defense sources say they may even take a few more days to be here. So certainly there is a air of there is uncertainty. At the same time, there is an air of distrust is also what we are getting to pick up from our sources on the ground. The India has allowed a UK aircraft to be here grounded for 6 days, but the UK still fails to totally trust the Indian authorities. That is the takeaway from this, Shravan.
Well, in fact, Ashwin, I'll just request you to stay on with us as we stay with these latest images. In fact, these are the live images coming in from Thiruvananthapuram of the British F-35 fighter jet, which is currently grounded in Thiruvananthapuram, which initially was given ground support, and the entry was facilitated. Sources have now confirmed that the Indian Air Force has provided the logistical support, but an immediate clearance was basically sought for this landing at the Thiruvananthapuram airport, which was given. Now, as per sources, the aircraft encountered unserviceability, and as of now, the aircraft has not been rectified. One of the technical team has already arrived from the United Kingdom 2 days ago, and as of now, the aircraft has not been rectified. Another rectification team is yet to arrive, and some additional technical support is essentially expected. Indian and British authorities are in fact are in touch with each other, and they're monitoring the situation. The Navy of both the countries were conducting a joint Navy drill, and that's when the aircraft had to be diverted due to the emergency. Now, the 2 to 3 big takeaways that we're getting. One, the fact that this aircraft that you see on your screens, these are live images. Let me just once again reiterate the fact, only Indian News Network to get you the first images of the world's costliest fighter jet, which has now been grounded for the last 5 days. It hasn't been rectified as yet. And secondly, UK has basically refused any further assistance from India. In fact, they are saying that a new team would essentially come in. As of now, there is only one team that is present there with the rectification process is basically underway. My colleague Chandrakala is joining us from the newsroom, getting us more details. Chandrakala, you spoke to some of the sources. You did actually try getting in touch with the UK embassy, but we are given to understand that no response really coming in from them. It's in a very clandestine manner that the UK Royal Navy is essentially operating right now. What is it that they are saying? By when are we to expect the team to come in? What are the things that they're essentially looking at?
Well, Shravan, of course, a very unusual incident has taken place. A British Royal Navy F-35B stealth fighter jet remains still grounded at Kerala's Thiruvananthapuram International Airport for more than 72 hours. And we have tried reaching out to the UK High Commission, the military attaché of UK High Commission on this matter, and they are not responding on this matter yet. Of course, the fighter jet is currently in Thiruvananthapuram and it was initially given ground support, and the entry was facilitated as confirmed by the Indian Air Force. They said that immediate clearance was given as the aircraft was in distress and all kind of logistic support was ensured. The sources have also confirmed that the aircraft encountered unserviceability, and as of now the aircraft has not been rectified. The point to be noted that the aircraft has not been rectified. Of course, one of the technical team has arrived from the UK 2 days back, but of course this aircraft has not been rectified, and another rectification team, as per sources, is yet to arrive India, and some additional technical support is expected. Of course, the Indian and the British authorities are in constant touch on this matter. And the Navy of both the countries, of course, the Royal Navy was flexing its muscle in the Indo-Pacific, and the Navy of both the countries were conducting a joint Navy drill. That's when the aircraft had diverted due to emergency. Over to you, Shravan.
Well, thank you very much for getting us the latest details. Now, I'm going to just take you through why a lot of questions were essentially being raised. And in fact, there is also a social media sensation right now. In fact, someone actually put out a social media post that this particular aircraft is actually on sale. And that led to a massive internet furor that we saw. Now, I'm going to quickly take you through the details of this aircraft. It's the world's most expensive American fighter jet. One of the most advanced with several technologies that I'm going to just now tell you a little bit more about. F-35B jet is basically valued at over $100 million. That's the cost of one fighter jet. Part of UK's HMS Prince of Wales carrier strike group. Remember, this is the very aircraft that was participating in a joint military drill. Then let's take you through some of the details that we have right now in terms of the weaponry system that this particular aircraft essentially has. It is basically equipped with surface-to-air missiles. It also has, in terms of the fact that the stealth capabilities, which has participated in several wars, and in fact, remember, had a role had to play during the Afghanistan war too. In fact, it is capable of short takeoffs as well as vertical landings, and that is the reason why this is considered to be one of the most advanced, and the fact that it has been able to put out what they call almost 100% servicing, and the fact that it has been able to carry out most of the missions that it has been participating in. Well, in fact, before I move on to the other story, it's important to point out a few more things. One, that it had to make this emergency landing on Sunday at Thiruvananthapuram Airport when they had taken the clearance from the Indian Air Force. Even after it was grounded, the fighter pilot refused to take any sort of help. In fact, he was asked to move inside the Thiruvananthapuram Airport, which now reports are suggesting that he decided that he will sit just next to the aircraft. Thereafter, there was one team that actually came in from United Kingdom to carry out the serviceability of this particular aircraft. Now, that has essentially been put on hold. There is another team that is expected to come in the next few days. Moving on to the other story that we have been bringing to you on this very story of the conflict between Israel and Iran. What has essentially happened so far? As the fact that this is essentially escalated over the last few days, the fact that here Iran is essentially saying that Israel is basically carrying on with what the United States of America for a very long time did, the war bogey that they have basically got in. Key infrastructures that have been targeted by both sides, Iran as well as Israel. In fact, this morning, key installations in Iran as well as Israel was targeted. We're going to take you through some of the reports coming in first from Israel, and then we're also going to get you an exclusive interview with the Deputy Ambassador of Iran in New Delhi.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ. डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा. अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ. सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला. सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप.
विमल में गुलिस्तां की ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुले तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की इस जुबान में खुद को ऐसा डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं. विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं ना? विमल, बोलो जुबा केसरी.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने.
כל המיון. תראו את כולם רצים, תראו את האנשים, תראו את האנשים.
Early this morning, an Iranian ballistic missile directly hit the Soroka hospital in Beersheba. This hospital serves over 1 million Israelis, including Bedouins, Jews, Christians, and Arabs alike. Iran targeting civilian centers with ballistic missiles is no surprise for us. They have been openly declaring their desire to destroy the state of Israel for decades now.
את המצב בחמינאי, היטלר המודרני. אדם עומד עשרות שנים בראש מעצמה. יש לו השפעה אידיאולוגית רבה. הוא מפעיל אותה ואומר שהוא בעד השמדת ישראל. הוא מפעיל את כל המשאבים גם על חשבון העם שלו למען המטרה. ואנחנו רואים היום הוכחה שהוא באופן אישי נותן הוראה לירות על בתי חולים.
ملت ایران در مقابل جنگ تحمیلی محکم می ایسته، همچنانی که تا حالا ایستاده. در مقابل صلح تحمیلی محکم می ایسته. ملت ایران در مقابل تحمیل تسلیم هیچ کس نمیشه.
כדי להסיר שני איומים קיומיים על מדינת ישראל, איום הגרעין ואיום הטילים הבליסטיים. אנחנו מתקדמים צעד אחר צעד בהסרת האיומים.
Bharat 2050 is back, bigger, bolder and more visionary than ever. In its second edition, Mega Structures Republic takes you to the very heart of India's infrastructure revolution. From seaports to skyways, energy corridors to digital highways, we decode the monumental builds transforming India. This isn't just development, it's a national awakening in steel, concrete and unshakable ambition.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IIHM.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
יש שם, זה לא נפילות?
נפילות, אבא, זה נפילות.
Russia-Ukraine is so stupid. Would have never happened if I was president. You guys agree with that, right? Would have never happened if I was president. Putin would have never done it. And I spoke to him yesterday and I said, you know, he actually offered to help mediate. I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay? I said, Vladimir, let's mediate Russia first. You can worry about this later. But I think that's going to work out too, but it's so many people have been killed. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
President, what do you want to do about that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it. Most importantly, you have millions of people dead. Millions of people dead because of three people. I would say three people. Let's say Putin, number one. But let's say Biden, who had no idea what the hell he was doing. Number two, and Zelensky. And all I can do is try and stop it. That's all I want to do. I want to stop the killing. And I think we're doing well in that regard. I think you'll have some very good proposals very soon.
Last question.
It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? Because of fentanyl and many other things, and you added it up. I said, where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high. They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff.
Donald Trump make all sorts of statements. And you know that he is brilliant in his manipulation of social media. Sometimes it gains him favor, sometimes it gains him just a lot of media attention, but he does that. He's been doing that since his first term, and we all know that.
If the US truly wants to resolve issues through
From your smart screens to your smart television, the trending stories are breaking the internet. It's day 8, viewers, of Israel-Iran war with an unprecedented election on both the sides. Meanwhile, there's been a mega data breach, the biggest data breach ever, with 16 million passwords leaked. We'll get you the details on that and what does it mean for you, what can you do to prevent that, and not just this. India has been off to a great start at Headingley in Leeds on day 1 of the test match between India and England. We'll get you the key moments and the highlights of that and a lot more packed in this edition of What's Trending with me, Rakshita Mishra. The conflict between Iran and Israel has now entered its 8th day, and this morning Israel has conducted a fresh wave of attacks against the military targets of the Iranian regime. And they have attacked more than 25 Air Force fighter jets and destroyed more than 35 missile storage and launched